Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really surprised to be doing a video like this years later, but welcome to my How to Become a Model in 2026 video. I think I have slightly more credentials than I did when I was a literal child giving advice. I've actually lived out in the real world, worked over 10 years in the industry. So this is an ever-evolving, changing industry, and I've been through it all. So for a little background, I was a child model. I was discovered when I was 11 years old at a summer camp by a local talent agency, and the person who discovered me was a mother agent. And something I've learned over the years of having mother agents is you really need to do research, because being trapped in a contract with somebody who sounds amazing is a nightmare. A mother agent is going to promise you a lot of things. They're going to promise you a great career, especially if you're so young and they have all this time to develop you. You really have to take the time to research, message other models who they represent, find out what their actual trajectory is for you. See if they actually have like a mapped out plan of what they want to do with you. Because a lot of mother agents and managers have all of like this great talk and dialogue that they present to like these really young, vulnerable, excited models and newcomers, and then you're stuck in a contract with somebody that's holding you back or doesn't know what they're doing. So the number one thing is you have to research and you have to get extra sources from people. So something you want to do when you first start modeling is really just practice and keep working on your book. When I first got signed, I was constantly shooting with people, finding creatives. I live near an art college, so I was shooting with them all the time, trying to like practice, learn how to use my face, my body, and this was so helpful when actually trying to get signed with an agency, because when you have a strong book, they're like, wow, I can really work with this girl. What was great about living by an arts college is I had such a crazy variety of looks and editorials that I could use to kind of present to clients. I also had like local runway shows that I was doing to practice my walk, and that gave me a little extra edge when submitting and going to meetings with really big worldwide agencies. It kind of shows them that you're ready to work. So whether you have a mother agent or not, what you're going to need is a really strong set of digitals. Here's an example of some digitals that I have taken. No makeup, you don't even need like a fancy camera, just a regular iPhone will do. They just want to see how you really look. And depending on what agency you want to apply to, they're going to have some different guidelines. Maybe they'll want like a video or whatnot. You just need to be yourself, look your best. And if you don't hear back the first time, just submit again in 6 months, because I've honestly talked to an agency like a year before I got signed and they were like, nope, never mind. And then a year later, I met with them again. They were like, oh, perfect. And I got signed the next day. And it really is just in this industry, it's nothing personal against you. It's genuinely just what is trending at the time. I was signed with Next Models in high school and I was working in all of the markets, and I always really struggled to work and get placements and jobs in New York, because at the time New York was super into the really skinny look, and I was a skinny child but not anywhere near like what the New York standards were, and that was something that really messed with my head and my self-esteem and my self-worth, which is why I really recommend coming into this industry with a thick skin. I personally don't believe in succumbing to standards that don't feel comfortable to you or to your body, because it's always just going to end up in failure, bad mental health issues. It's never worth it, because this industry genuinely changes every other business day and the trends change every day. So why are you going to kill yourself over that? I decided I didn't want to change myself anymore. I was like, I cannot get my measurements down 1 more inch. I'm over this. And I ended up quitting when I was 17 because I genuinely could not handle it anymore. It was too much stress. My dream of all dreams was to go to New York City, and I took a break and I went to college. I spent all those years just like living my best life. I partied, I gained weight. So I moved to New York City post-grad, and I had no idea what I was doing with my life. I had a unpaid fashion internship. I really needed money, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to submit to modeling agencies. There was like the curve movement happening. New York was definitely changing at the time. And I submitted to some agencies that at the time didn't even look my way. And I fully didn't expect, honestly, to get any contract offers. I had been rejected from New York countless times because of my body, and it was just something that I stopped taking personal. I didn't have anything to lose at that point, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna submit and see what happens. And I told myself, if I sign with an agency, one of my non-negotiables is I can't be forced to lose weight, I can't be pressured, otherwise it's just not worth it for me. And I kid you not, within 48 hours, I got a call from a few agencies. I met with them, and then I was offered a contract within 2 days, something that I had not even had in like 6-7 years of trying to sign in New York when I was younger as a kid and had like all these body issues and was being pressured. Literally, I just went in as myself. I told them who I was, what I stood for. And I'm not saying that this is going to happen every time, because honestly, genuinely, that was like the perfect timing for me. My body type was in, the body movement was really big at the time. And that's just something that happens. You know, if I had submitted maybe 6 months after that, maybe they wouldn't have taken me. One of the most important things when submitting or looking for an agency is looking on their board, seeing who has similar body types to you or works with the clients that you want to work with. When I moved to New York and decided to start over and just apply to agencies that I thought would best suit me, I didn't want to apply to like these agencies that only had really, really skinny girls who were doing strictly high fashion, because I knew that was never going to be me. I wanted it to be, but I knew it wasn't going to be me. I wanted to be where I was going to be successful. And so I needed to kind of set my sights a little differently. So I was looking at agencies that had mid-sized girls, curved girls, girls who had a big chest like I had at the time. I would go on their Instagram, I would look at models who were signed with them, and I just literally submitted to everybody who seemed like they would be a good option for me. And I've met with New York agencies probably like 10 to 15 times in my career, and every single time, the moments that I've had the best results and contract offers is when I felt the best in myself. I wasn't so worried about measurements or anything. I genuinely was taking care of my skin, working out. When you exude confidence and feel good about yourself, any agent can read that in the room, and that makes you stand out more than anything. So one of my first corporate jobs in New York was actually at a talent agency. I was working on their marketing side, where I was helping like scale their models and influencers profiles, and I really got to see a behind the scenes on how the industry works now with booking models. And I'm telling you, I hate to say it, but 90% of it is literally your social media, especially if you want to do these really big money commercial jobs. All of them are looking on your profile. If they're submitting you to music jobs, they want to see, oh, do they know how to play music? And they're going to have profiles of models who literally perform and post it on Reels or Instagram stories or on TikTok. If you want to get hair campaigns, post reels of your hair looking bomb as hell or doing hair tutorials. If you want to get beauty jobs, you need to be posting a lot of selfies, just really cool girl, laid back. Posting on Reels is literally so embarrassing. It's literally humiliation ritual, but that's something that I've started, and I've definitely noticed that has helped so much with getting clients and photographers that normally would not have even looked my way in a package that agencies send out, because they just want to see people who are doing more with themselves. Another thing I've learned being in this industry is that you have to look out for yourself. You can't fully rely on any manager or agent to really fully push for you, because honestly, they're pushing for a lot of people, and they're going to push for people who really want it and really are putting themselves out there. Obviously, there's some models that can book a Chanel campaign without even trying, because that's just how it is. I've seen it happen at my job. I remember there was models literally who were partying at the club, and they were like, oh, I don't want to make it to my Chanel campaign tomorrow. Like, I'm too busy getting crunk. Because some girls just have it like that, and that's what it is. But most models really need to push for themselves. And something that I did that I noticed made a big difference my first year of being signed to New York versus my second year, which is where I worked the most, is I started pushing for my own test shoots and reaching out to my own photographers and finding creatives in the city to collaborate with. There were certain clients I really wanted to work with, so I would do a beauty shoot, and I really focused on doing that. And I booked a Fenty campaign, and I really wanted to do lingerie jobs because that was something I felt like really suited me at the time. So I started to do like more swim and lingerie shoots, and I would do that without my agents asking, send it over, and then my packages would look even better and more desirable to clients, and that would make a world of difference. And then I suddenly started getting castings for Skims, Victoria's Secret, Fenty Savage, and this is all because I was really trying to like push myself into that direction. At the end of the day, the 2026 model is somebody who is confident in themselves, their abilities, and also has something going for them. Share your weird hobbies online. Don't be afraid to show who you really are. It's just someone that creates substance for a brand. That is something that is completely priceless, something that a lot of agents and brands are looking for. Working behind the scenes at an agency also gave me so much perspective on just like the cycles of models and trends, and it really just taught me that you really can't take things personal. You have to kind of move with the trends and make opportunities for yourself. Like, don't just sit and wait for things to happen. You have the power in yourself. And that's something, again, that we didn't have that 10 years ago. That's something you have to be taking advantage of. And I know people hate the whole social media scene in modeling, but I agree. I say it's definitely kind of annoying. I've been to castings where they'll basically not even look at you if you don't have like 500,000 followers, which sucks. But it's also beautiful because you can create a story and brand for yourself. So here are the points you need to be looking out for when trying to become a model in 2026. You need to find an agency and a manager that aligns with your plans. You need to make sure that you are on the same trajectory and have a layout for what you want your career to be. You need to be submitting to agencies that fit your vibe, fit your career path that you want to do. Work on your own social media presence and create your own story and brand, something that will make brands and companies come to you. And never forget to keep investing in yourself. And I'm talking about your looks. I'm talking about your health. I'm talking about everything that has to do with your social media and how you present yourself online and in real life. I have been at rock bottom so many times in my career. I have had to start over all by myself with no help, no managers, so many times. I never gave up though, because I knew I wanted more. I knew I could do it, and I found a way. You can always do it. You just have to be your biggest advocate and cheerleader. You have to know what you want. Literally manifest it, create a manifestation board, keep doing your research. If you really want to succeed today in 2026 as a model, you need to not wait for someone to give you an opportunity. You need to just make them yourself. You need to make yourself someone that an agency manager or a client would never say no to. I believe in you guys. You can do this. You can become a model and achieve all of your dreams in 2026. It is possible. I hope you guys enjoyed these tips, and let me know if you want to know any other modeling tips or some stories I've had over the years. I have so much to share, and I'm so happy to finally be connecting again and doing this on my channel with you guys. Anytime I post a modeling video on TikTok or Reels, I will literally get comments from people saying that they remember me from 10 years ago. You're like, were you that girl on YouTube giving us modeling advice when you were 13 years old? And I was like, yes. And I really hope you weren't listening to me because I had no idea what I was talking about. But you live and you learn. And you know what? If I hadn't started then and been pushing for myself and advocating for myself, I wouldn't be where I am now in New York City and living my best life. Be your biggest fan, be your biggest advocate, and you are going to succeed in anything you do in your life. It's worked out for me so far, so let me know if you have any other questions or need some tips. Leave it in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.